Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's interview question is why acceptance criteria is very important in a work item. We have already talked about definition of ready, and in definition of ready, acceptance criteria plays a very major role. It is one of the checklist item. Why it is given a very big priority? Why so? Acceptance criteria gives the complete details about that particular work item, both functional and non-functional. What are the use cases? What are the business logic that we are trying to achieve? What are the non-functional aspects that we are going to cover? All the details are captured in acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria is very important for all the roles. What are the roles? Let's take from a developer. For a developer to implement or achieve a particular work item or a functionality, they need to know the logic behind that, the implementation points, as well the use cases. For example, let's take a login screen. When we say login screen should be implemented, there are different use cases. Username is a text field, password is a text field. Password can have multiple combinations, like it can have alphanumeric, case sensitive, and when it is not entered, it should throw a warning message of so and so. It should have so and so character length. These all things are different use cases. Where are we capturing all these things? In acceptance criteria. So for developers, this is going to play a major role to explain them what is the business logic that we are going to achieve, that is with login functionality, and what are the different use cases that we are going to cover in that also explained in the acceptance criteria. Coming to the non-functional aspect, after I press login button, what is the time that is permissible to land at the home page? Can I wait for 5 minutes? Definitely not. Can I wait for 1 minute? Definitely not. Then what is the time? What is the accepted time range? What is the maximum time that the system should wait, or the user can wait till what time? What is the permissible range? That is the non-functional aspect for this particular work item login functionality. Where are we capturing that? In the acceptance criteria. So when implementing login functionality itself, always developer has an option to think through, okay, now this is the time frame that user will be waiting. Like for example, 2 seconds. By 2 seconds, it should move to the home page. Maximum 5 seconds. If it is more than 5 seconds, it is not acceptable. So this is what acceptance criteria is saying. So definitely developer will follow this use case and implement it. So acceptance criteria is helping developer to understand the business concept of this particular functionality and functional as a non-functional use cases of the particular work item. So first role is developer role. Second role is tester. Tester is going to write acceptance test cases against this acceptance criteria line items. When I say acceptance test cases, these test cases are going to help the testers to check whether the functionality is working as per the expectation or not. Acceptance test case should get passed so that work item is completely implemented according to the expectation, and this acceptance test cases are getting passed is one of the checklist item. We usually add it in the definition of done. So all the test cases what we are covering should get passed. But how are we writing these use cases or the test cases? Against the acceptance criteria. So each and every line item of the acceptance criteria is converted as an acceptance test case by the tester, and this will eventually undergo the execution once the work item is available for testing and the test report is captured, and that is required for the definition of done checklist. So this is the second role where acceptance criteria is getting used. Third role is for a product owner. For a product owner to express what are the things that they are going to expect, or he or she is going to expect from the particular work item, is expressed in the acceptance criteria. So this is one channel for the product owner to share the or to express the expected things from the work item. Similar way, when the work item is ready and the definition of done is met, it is very important acceptance criteria is met or not. That's why we always write acceptance criteria is met. That should be met. That is one of the definition of done checklist item. Why? Because, for example, I am expecting a login page should have these many things with these all non-functional aspects, and these all are functional aspects. That is my expectation, and whether these expectations are met or not, that I will be tracking with the help of the definition of done checklist, where one of the checklist item is acceptance criteria met. So to validate a work item, whether I can accept it or not, because certain things my expectation were there, whether all those are met and whether I can accept this as part of the sprint deliverable or not, to take that call, acceptance criteria is very helpful for the product owner. Because of all this importance at every level, acceptance criteria's importance is very, very clear, and it is very important for any work item. That's why even in definition of ready, it should be available, then only definition of ready is met, checklist is met. Similarly, it should be meeting in the work item, then only we can say definition of done is also met, so that it helps the product owner to understand whatever the expectation that he or she had set, whether it is taken care in the work item or not. I think this episode would have helped many of us to understand about the acceptance criteria and its importance at different levels and different roles. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy learning and stay tuned.